Morning, John.
Good morning, everyone.
Johnson Matthey putting out their big platinum group metals report today, and they're saying that the platinum market has been balanced in 2010. They're also projecting 975 palladium and 1900 platinum by year end. That's pretty much in line with what other firms such as GFMS and Standard Bank have projected. Any surprises in this report, John?
It seems, well, in the context of the sort of forecasting season, which spring generally is, between April and June, we get the statistical findings on supply and demand, pretty much from everyone, GFMS, CPM Group New York, now Johnson Matthey has chimed in. As regards the noble metals niche, consensus seems to be that the three metals in that group are well supported on the demand side, that perhaps downside risk, albeit still there in the price in the context of generalized selling that we've seen in other metals and commodities, is still there. But the downside risk is fairly limited because the basic equation shows that supplies are not all that robust, and that the demand base, the automotive makers of the world, continue to require these metals essentially for building cars, without any excuses of waiting or substitution. So the Standard Bank projections, in addition to that, would basically serve as the corollary and corroborate the projections that, yes, we could see as high as $1,900 or $2,000 in platinum before the year's out, perhaps as high as 900 to 975 in palladium before the year comes to a draw. And on the downside, support seems to be fairly robust in platinum at around the 1550 to 1650 area, while in palladium, that support is probably between the $600 and $700 range. So there's still some volatility to come into these markets. They've always been notoriously, large movers. But all in all, the optimism is there because basically South Africa and Russia are not supplying at levels that are all that encouraging to people. And as I said, the car makers continue to demand these metals.
John, you touch upon Russia, and throughout the year we've heard about this tremendous shortage of palladium coming out of Russia, but the report is indicating otherwise.
Oh, yes. In fact, we heard several times that there was no palladium coming from Russia from sources. And I think our friends over at CPM Group in New York had disputed such findings on and off throughout the year, alluding to the fact that, look, the stockpiles, although unknown in size because Russia keeps those a state secret, are probably still there, and that at the right time and the right price, Russia will release some metal to the market. And apparently the flows have been on the order of about 1 million ounces of palladium last year from Russia. So there's no cessation of the flow, no turning off of the faucet. And we can expect probably the same large, not large necessarily, but the same consistent levels of sales to the market from that source in the current year as well.